Good morning, students. I am Basub sir. I am taking the subject fluid mechanics for your fifth semester. So today I am discussing the first chapter of fluid mechanics, that is introduction, the introductory chapter. Okay. So at first we have to know what is fluid mechanics. So we can define it as fluid mechanics is that branch of science which deals with the mechanics of the fluid at rest as well as in motion. So fluid mechanics is the branch of science which deals with the mechanics of fluid at rest as well as in motion. That is, it deals with the two condition of fluid. If it is rest, it may be rest, that is, it may be in static condition, or it may be in dynamic condition, that is, it is in motion. So two types of condition is discussed in the subject fluid mechanics. Two types of fluid, two types of condition of fluid is discussed in the fluid mechanics, that is fluid mechanics chapter. Okay. So the branch, that is the subject, deals with the static, kinematic and dynamic aspect of fluid. That is, we have to know three terms: static, kinematics and dynamics of fluid. Okay. So at first, if the study of fluid at rest is if the study of fluid is at rest, then this type of subject, that is, this type of condition is called fluid statics. That is, when the fluid in totally static or rest condition, then study of this type of fluid is called fluid statics. The study of fluid in motion where pressure force are not considered, is called fluid kinematics. That is, where when if fluid is moving, types of pressure forces may or may not be acting on that fluid. So if the pressure forces which are acting on the fluid is not considered, only the study of fluid is in motion is considered, then this branch is called as called fluid kinematics. And if the pressure force also considered for the fluid in motion, that is, when the fluid in motion, if the discussion is about the motion of fluid as well as the pressure forces, then this branch of science is called fluid dynamics. So fluid mechanics broadly classified in three categories as fluid statics, fluid kinematics and fluid dynamics. Okay. So this is the basics of fluid mechanics. Now here we see that fluid mechanics is the summation of two terms, fluid and mechanics. So we already know that what is mechanics. So what is mechanics? Mechanics is actually the subject where the force and the action of forces on various subjects, that is, it may be machines or any object, is discussed. Then this subject is called mechanics. That is, mechanics is actually the discussion of force and its effects on any body or any subject is called mechanics. And what is fluid? So we have to know the term fluid. What is fluid? Fluid is, in simply we can say that which flows is called fluid. That is, which passes which flows is simply called fluid. In broadly we can say that a fluid is a substance that deforms continuously. That means there is no permanent structure of fluid. A fluid is a substance that deforms continuously when subjected to a tangential or shear force. That is, you are very well known about the term tangential stress or shear stress. So a fluid is a substance that deforms continuously when subjected to a tangential or shear stress, however small the shear stress may be. So if the shear stress is very small, then the fluid also deforms. So if fluid is a substance which by the acting of tangential or shear stress, it continuously deforms. That is this is actually fluid. So therefore fluid mechanics actually is actually the branch of the mechanics which deals with the fluid in rest or in motion. Okay, now we have to know one specific topic, the terms like solid, liquid and gases. In our atmosphere or surroundings, generally there are three types of matters are present. Okay, one is solid, next is liquid, and third is gases. In our atmosphere, three types of matter are present. One is solid, other is liquid, and other is gases. So at first, what is solid? We can define it as a solid has a definite shape which it retains until some external force is applied to alter it. That is, a solid has a permanent or definite shape and size. And the solid retains the shape permanently until some external force is applied to alter it. Alter means to change it. Therefore, if an external force is applied on such one type of matter, that is called solid, then the shape of the solid is changed. Until any force is applied, the shape of the solid is not changed. So a solid has a definite shape which is retains until some external force is applied to alter it. Next, liquid. A liquid takes the shape of a vessel into which it is poured. That is, a liquid has no permanent shape. When it is poured in a vessel or a container, then it takes the shape of the vessel or container. Now, what is gas? Gases completely fills up the vessel which contains it. Therefore, gases has no permanent or fixed shape and size. The figure or the shape of the vessel is actually depends of the figure or shape and size of gas. So a gas completely fills the vessel which the contains it. Therefore, if the vessel is or container is rectangular, then the gas fills rectangularly, and if the vessel is circular or other like cone, then the gas completely fills the specific type of vessel. Now, in general, this is the classification of all the matters of world, but in fluid mechanics we can define all the matters in a specified category like solid and fluid. Okay, here there is no classification of three types. Here is actually the classification of only two types. One is solid and other is fluid in the view of fluid mechanics. So now we have to know solid and fluid. Okay.